funny the people you know, because we've had Dan Warren on this show a number of times, and he's been talking about Midsomer-Norton-Target-Shootin Club. Obviously, he's one of our hellos. We say hello to him every week. But Dan's performance, not just with Midsomer Norton, but indeed with the county, he's gone from strength to strength, as we will see later in this interview. But Dan has come primarily in, not to blow his own trumpet, and of course we wouldn't want to see that on air, but to talk about the exploits of our very own Midsomer-Norton shooting club. And Dan, I believe, well, first of all, it's very good to see you.
It's good to see you too, Ian. Thank you for having me on the show.
No problem at all. And now then, Midsomer-Norton A-team winners of the Somerset Division 1.
Yes, so for the first time in our long, 60-year history, we are the Division 1 champions of Somerset.
And that was a team that you were part of?
Yep, it was myself, Tony Clement, Matt Clement and Kev York. And
can you tell us a little bit about what's the format of this of Somerset Division 1? What are you shooting, and where does it all happen? Run us through that.
So it's a .22 caliber target rifles are the arms we shoot with. And that was the Prone Winter League. So we're lying down on the floor. It's indoors in the winter. And, yeah, so...
how long is the season for that?
It starts in September and goes through to about March.
And do you shoot matches, or is it how do you decide who wins and how many points?
Given the quite disparate nature of the club structure in Somerset, we do it as a postal league.
So will you actually have a fixture against another club?
That's right.
And you will shoot your targets down at the ranges at the Midsomer Norton Club.
Yep.
And then the outcome of that will be compared against the various clubs that you will be shooting against in the county.
Correct. Yes. So we send all of our shot targets to a central chap who collates them all and publishes the results.
So what other than Midsomer Norton, obviously, what other places are there represented in the Somerset First Division?
Minehead, Ilminster, Cheddar Valley, and I'm struggling now.
I mean, it's not uncommon, is it, in pursuits like this, for certain clubs to have a very strong reputation and historically be very strong. And obviously, as you've said right from the beginning, this is the first time that Midsomer Norton have won the Somerset First Division. So who is the historical powerhouse in the county? Who is the scalp you all wanted most?
Cheddar Valley, probably, as our strongest local rivals. We have regular matches against them shoulder to shoulder, so that's the other type of match we do, which is where we go to their range and vice versa and lie down next to each other and shoot the match on their range.
Did the shoulder to shoulder competition, was that part of the Somerset competition that you won, or purely postal, was it?
It's purely postal, yeah.
And so, how many matches in total would you would contribute? Because I noticed that you you won the division by 10 points from your nearest rival. I mean, is this a sort of historic Manchester United marching away with the league by Christmas, or is that quite close?
It's shot over 15 rounds, and I think we won 13 of our 15 matches. In fact, we were 13 out of 13 and took our eye off the ball for the last 2 rounds. You
rested you did a bit of squad rotation, did you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Now, we should say that it wasn't just the A team, was it, that had something to celebrate, because your C team were also victorious as well.
Absolutely. So the C team of Paul Snelling, Rick Cross, Bob Stacey and Ollie Evans were competing in Somerset Division 5, and they took the title there as well. Now,
Somerset Division 5, how many divisions are there in Somerset?
There are 10 of 6 teams, so 60 teams in total. Right,
and how many teams, obviously with the C team, I'm supposing that there's a B team, so have you got 3 or have you got more teams than that?
We've got 4 teams. The B and D teams came very creditable 4th.
Yeah. One of the things that always interests me when I go and visit local clubs is the age of the people who are involved, and obviously you're not that much younger than me, so you're in the prime of life, as I like to think.
Yeah.
But what sort of age ranges of people are involved up at Midsomer Norton?
Well, that's the fantastic thing about shooting sports, is that you can be competitive from 14 through to 80, and I've had good friends in their 80s still competing at a high level. But that is a good moment to point out our top junior, Chris Tout, who also medalled in the Somerset League as well.
Oh, brilliant! Now we've been mentioning a lot. I think I certainly hope we have. Anyway, we've been mentioning a lot of male names. Is there do ladies shoot in a different league, or is it mixed?
It is mixed, absolutely. Yeah, it's no barrier, and the ladies are every bit as good as the chaps.
Do you get? Are there many members, lady members at Midsomer-Norton?
Not at Midsomer-Norton, but across the county, we do have strong depth of.
We've got to put a shout out there. We've got to get some of the ladies involved, I think, because I mean, I know you've enjoyed your time at the club since you've been involved, and I mean, I've been down there a couple of times with you, and it's been always very welcoming. And it, as you said, age is no barrier, and neither should gender be. So.
Absolutely, it isn't. No.
Yeah. Now, on a personal note, you've also been shooting in the Somerset Open competition.
I have, yes.
What's all that about then?
OK, so once a year the county organises a competition that's open to, nationally, so anybody can come and compete. It's broken into classes, so the X, A, B and C classes. And there's a Somerset Refined Championship as well. So we have a championship of the Somerset Open, champion of the Somerset Open, as well as the Somerset champion who wins of the Somerset representatives there. And
you are you've triumphed with a personal best score of 590 out of 600. So that's putting you at the top of the pile of the county's shooters.
Yes, and the privilege of having won the Somerset Open means I can now represent Somerset at the Champion of Champions competition shot at Bisley in August. So
to shoot your 590 out of 600, did you do that all in one go, or is this competition is it shot over a series of days? What's the format?
It's a shot in one go. There are breaks. There are 2 breaks. There are 20 shots on a card. You're shooting it at the target cards, and so you break twice to go and change the cards, so you can resume again. So it's shot over the course of an hour and a half. So you shot
all those points in an hour and a half. And how many people were you competing against?
I think there are about 80 people competing this year.
Is this the first time you'd ever shot in this particular discipline, or because I know you obviously you've been involved in shooting around the county in a variety of different guises before. So was this the first time you've entered this particular competition?
It's the first time I've entered this competition. It's a standard format, so I've done this format of competition many times before, but it's the first time I've entered the Somerset Open. Yes.
So have you been presented with your pot?
Yes, I've got a splendid trophy.
Brilliant. And when will you get the chance to represent Somerset in that Champion of Champions competition?
It's mid-August, so I think it's the 18th of August.
And that will be at Bisley.
It will.
And that's the same format again, will it? You'll be
absolutely a 60-shot match at 50 metres.
At 50 metres with your and you have your own target rifle. That's the.
Correct.
Yes. So everybody will have their own at that level. And is that? I know you've been to Bisley before, haven't you?
Mm-hmm.
But this is the first time you'll have shot in the Champion of Champions competition.
It is, yes.
So previously, have you gone to shoot for the county?
I have. So they have a whole week of shooting at the national championships, and one of the days is dedicated to inter-county matches. So I've. Again, been very lucky to represent Somerset there before.
Not only will you be carrying the hopes of Midsomer-Norton on your shoulders, but you'll also be representing the entire county.
I will, yes.
Now, I know traditionally counties like Hampshire have been very strong. I'm probably doing other counties a disservice, but I happen to know a very small amount about this, and I say very small because it exists. Basically, I know Hampshire have been pretty good. Are there any? I mean, how do you think you're going to get on, or is it going to be a bit of a surprise for you?
Well, I think Somerset will do very well. We're normally a kind of mid-tier county. As you say, it's the home counties, Surrey and Hampshire are really the powerhouses, but we'll be looking to take the fight to them.
Yeah, you'll be giving them a run for their money.
Absolutely.
Excellent, Dan. Well, that's absolutely fantastic. Thanks very much for coming in. And it's great to see you again, and it's great to hear your news, particularly such a wonderful piece of news for our local club.
OK, and if I can just say, if anyone wants to get involved with target shooting, go and see Andy Hobbs down in the centre of Midsomer-Norton, and he can tell you a bit more about how to get involved with the sport.
Particularly if you're a lady, because we want to get more ladies involved. That's our mission. That is our mission now.